Okay, so as people continue to trickle in, I'm just going to start off a little bit. So, hello, everybody, and welcome to Boosting Financial Productivity, Navigating Web ADI Compatibility Issues and Limitations. I am Stephanie, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. Since this is a quick webinar, I just want to go over a few things before handing it off to our host, Lily. So, everyone will receive today's recording by the end of the week, possibly tomorrow. Just keep an eye out for it. And after Lily presents, we will begin our Q&A portion. During the session, feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box down below or in the chat. We will only answer them during the Q&A part. Just this allows everybody to hear the presentation and then hop off at the end if needed. And this is our second session of the day for End User Education Day. Lily, if you want to go to the next slide. If you missed the first one, that's okay. We still have 4 more to go. If you can't make the other ones, we totally get it. You will still receive the recordings anyway. It's just always best to join live, especially if you have questions that you need answers for. Before handing it over to Lily, with us today, we have Gareth Swales, our UK EU MEA Sales Manager, who would just like to say a few words. So Gareth.
Great, thanks, Stephanie. And yeah, I'd also like to extend my warm welcome to everybody to today's session. My name, as Stephanie mentioned, is Gareth Swales. I'm the EMEA Sales Manager here at More for Apps. I've been helping companies improve their data loading solutions in Oracle for the past 8 years. So as More for Apps enters their 25th year in business, we're really excited about hosting our first ever End User Education Day. Throughout the day, you'll be leveraging our Oracle expertise, which we are focused on solving data problems in Oracle EBS and Cloud ERP. Our mission is to remove the friction and data complexities within your ERP. So as Stephanie mentioned, in this particular session, you're going to learn more about navigating Web ADI, compatibility issues, and limitations. So on that note, I'm going to pass you across to Lily, who will introduce herself and take you through the session.
Awesome. Thanks, Gareth. And hi, everyone. Welcome to this More for Apps presentation. So today we'll be looking at Web ADI compatibility issues and limitations. I'm Lily Mazière. I'll start with a bit of background on me. So I've been working at More for Apps for about 6 years now. I'm one of the product specialists here. So my role is essentially to chat with people about their data entry pain points and see if More for Apps could be a good fit for them. And prior to that, I've been in consulting for almost 10 years, maintaining, implementing Oracle applications for many different organizations. But enough about me. So here is what we'll be covering today. We'll look at the most common Web ADI compatibility issues and also limitations. Then we will see how it compares to More for Apps. I will do a quick demo of GL Wizard, which many people use as a replacement of Web ADI in this area. And finally, we will keep some time for your questions at the end. But before we start, we would like to know a bit more about you. So I guess most people are here today because you have pain points with Web ADI. So we would like to understand why. So first question is, what is your biggest struggle with Web ADI at the moment? And
Yes, I just popped up a poll if you want to answer that. You can do multiple choice as well. You can select more than one answer. Lily, are you able to see it? Do you want me to read the results to you?
Yeah, I'm able to see this. Yeah, great.
Okay, cool.
It's on the over screen. That's good.
We'll give people some time to answer. It's like the usability and functionality, at least. And if you're just here to learn, that's also a good option. We did not include that one, but it's always great to learn. Okay, a couple more seconds. All right, let me share the results.
Cool.
Yeah, so it looks like the usability and functionality and the Oracle patching are the top, and then the upgrade broke.
Right. Right, okay. That's great info. So I guess you're in the right place to hear what we have to say today. So let's jump maybe to the second one. I think I need to close that maybe to be able to show the second one. All right, second question and last one, I promise. Which Oracle version do you run? And of course, if you don't know, you don't know. All right.
All right, great. I'll give a couple more seconds, but I think that's about it. Okay.
All right.
So mostly in 12.2 or yeah.
All right. But we still have some people in 11i, 12.1. Yeah, we have lots of our customers in those versions as well.
Okay, great.
All right.
Take it
That's
away,
great
Louis.
info. That's all good feedback. Thanks a lot for this. So if it can make you feel better, you're not alone. So like many people in our audience today, lots of people have reached out to us in the last few years. Since I work at More Apps, I've heard about this at least, that WebADI was broken after a Windows or Microsoft upgrade. So it's actually the biggest complaint we hear about, and it's typically a pressing issue when this happens. So it's almost Halloween time, so if you want to hear about some accounting horror stories, you're in the right place. In the last few ones I've had is 2 years ago, a European company that couldn't create journals for 2 weeks because of Microsoft Windows upgrade, that had broken WebADI. So basically, yeah, it was kind of a nightmare for them. It was a month-end closing, and they were not able to create journals for 2 weeks, so they had to do it manually. Yeah, very bad times. And we have a more recent example also for one of the largest shipping company in the world, which is based in Europe. After a Microsoft upgrade, 300 of their users couldn't create journals with WebADI, which was of course a huge issue because they use this tool to create 6,000 journal lines every day. So as a temporary workaround, they downgraded those users, those 300 users, to a previous version of Microsoft. And obviously downgrading to a firmware version of Microsoft or Windows is problematic because it can create security breaches in the company. So most organizations don't want to do this. And the only advice you're going to get from Oracle is, yeah, upgrade your entire Oracle's instance. So thank you, Oracle. Not all organizations want to go through this complicated process of upgrading. It can take 6 months to 2 years, depending on how complex is your system. So they need a better solution than this. With patching, the problem is also a big one, and over time it's likely to be enough to kill off WebADI as a viable solution for your organization, especially if you have an older version of Oracle that has fallen out of support. So we've seen that some people on the audience today are still on 11i, 12.1. Of course, you're not the only one. Many organizations are still on those versions, but they are not supported, at least for WebADI. So this again on the screen is a real scenario. So sometimes, you use Oracle, you get a bug. So first thing you do, if you're like a business analyst, you go to the Oracle support portal and you try to find a patch to fix your bug, right? And then when you find one, you're super happy. But some of those notes actually say that if you install this patch, it's gonna break all your custom WebADI templates. So that leaves you with a great choice, right? You either keep your bug or you need to, keep your custom templates working. So in summary, it's not reliable. That's what most people come to us for. And then there are the WebADI limitations. So many of you pointed out that there are limitations that the usability is not always great. So we're going to talk about this now. So the first one is that with the seeded offering, most of the data entry we need support for is actually missing. So indeed, you know that Oracle has created lots of WebADI templates, but most of them are pretty useless, actually. They are pretty fairly niche applications, very specific tasks, which nobody really perform. So most people don't use those templates in the end, apart from Asset, GL, which are very, very common templates, but the other ones, not many people use them. So yeah, and obviously, as you know, Oracle is not going to build any new template on EBS. We all know that they are focusing on cloud now. So that means we'll be looking at building expensive, complicating custom templates to fill in the gaps And that's going to take a lot of time, patience, resource to make work. And also, like we've just seen, it will be prompt to break with any patch. The second complaint we hear very often is that with the template you have, there are real challenges and limitations. So first, you have multiple templates for the same kind of operation. So if we look at GL journal example, you have one template per ledger, you have one for the functional currency, one for foreign currency, and so on. So it's super cumbersome when you could just have everything in a single workbook, in a single interface. Then you need to do a lot of back and forth between Oracle and WebADI. So if we look at the GL journal example again, you need to generate the template from Oracle, then upload from WebADI, and then go back to Oracle in some cases. If you want to look at your journal batch name created, for instance, this information won't be put back on the WebADI template. So that would be much easier if you could have this on the single interface again. And then the status on the WebADI template is not always accurate. It doesn't always reflect reality. So often you need to go back to the output and really look what happened and if your journal was successfully created. And also you don't have a download capability in most of the WebADI templates. So I know some of them provide this functionality, the download functionality, but most of them don't. And finally, to change anything on your template, even just move columns around, delete the columns you don't need, you need a customization. So it's not flexible like you would like. You need someone technical to customize this template. So in the end, it's not flexible at all. So let's see how it compares with MorphOapps. So there is a lot to digest here, but the main pain points for this discussion today are at the bottom. With WebADI, each time you do an upgrade or a patch, it just keeps breaking. So for many organizations we have discussed with, this was a real headache to maintain the solution, especially the custom WebADI templates. And this is typically costing companies a lot of time and money. So we typically think WebADI as a free solution, but it's not quite accurate at times. So for sure, there is no upfront cost, but that's not the full picture on the costing side. Sometimes a little upfront cost can actually save you a lot of expense down the line. And the MorphOapps solutions are aligned exactly on how you would intend to use WebADI, but without all the negative aspects we've just been talking about. So it's a reliable platform as it's supported across all EBS and Excel versions. It provides a single interface. You don't need to do all this back and forth between WebADI and Oracle. With MorphOapps, it's all in one single place. It provides flexible formatting, advanced validation. So basically with MorphOapps, you get a single Excel interface where you can get data in and out of Oracle easily. So this is a breakdown of the main tools MorphOapps offers in each area of the application. So you can see that compared to WebADI, there is support for loading data across the whole ERP. So unlike WebADI that covers mostly niche applications, very specific tasks, we offer a comprehensive suite that covers master data, invoicing, ordering, and transactional processing. All right, so that's all for this quick presentation. Now we're going to take a look at one of our products, GL Wizard. So many organizations have moved away from WebADI in this particular area, mostly because WebADI was not working anymore for them. It was just broken after a patch, after an upgrade. So that's why they decided to look at MorphOapps. So today we're taking a look at GL Wizard. This is to create journals, but to be honest, it's the same look and feel for all our products. So if you've seen one of our tools, you know how to use them all. In the end, it's just a macro embedded Excel workbook. So basically, you get the Excel functionalities in this product. And on top of this, we embedded VBA programs within this workbook. So you get the Morpher apps functionalities. This will enable you to connect this workbook to your Oracle instance using single sign-on or your standard logging method, your user password, and your responsibility. And then interact with Oracle. So you get data in and out of Oracle easily from within Excel. Okay. So the difference with WebADI, there are quite a few, so we'll be looking at this during this demo. First one is that you have a single interface to operate on the different tasks on the GL journal side. So you can create your budget, actuals, encumbrances from the same workbook. Even from the same template, you can create your functional and foreign actuals. So with WebADI, you would need multiple templates to accomplish this. Then the second big difference with WebADI is the flexibility. So in this product, by default, we offer a lot more columns than WebADI because we basically offer you the possibility to do attachments, which is not available with WebADI. We support all descriptive flex fields. So by default, you get lots of information in the template. But the difference with WebADI is that if you don't use those columns, you can easily get rid of them. So it's really just like any other Excel workbook here. You just right-click and delete columns you don't need. So it gives you the flexibility that you need. You won't need any technical assistance here to build your template. So then, what would you do to create your data set? Well, you have multiple options here to build your data set. Obviously, this is an Excel workbook, so you can use any Excel functionalities, any formula, VLOOKUPs, copy-paste. So this is really, yeah, big difference with WebADI. I've used WebADI quite a lot in my previous live. It crashes every time you try to insert a row and do fancy formulas. In here, all Excel functionalities are supported. This is first and foremost an Excel platform. So that's one way to create your data set. Many people would copy paste from other sources. You have also data forms which are available. So if you need to take a closer look at your GL code combination, you can just double click and bring up the user form to look at your list of values in this section. And of course, there is nothing to set up in here. So out of the box, we retrieve your list of values from Oracle. Your GL key flex field, your descriptive flex fields, your list of GL categories, all those kind of things. And it's the same in all our tools. When you connect the workbook to your Oracle instance, it will retrieve your Oracle setup. And finally, many people would use our download functionality to basically mimic an existing record to create a new one. You can do that in any area. So in GL, you know, every month you have the same journals to create. So you don't want to have to type this in again entirely. You just want to mimic an existing journal that is already in Oracle. So in order to do this, you just put your download filter on the sheet. It can be a batch name, a journal name, and then you download based on this filter. And after that, it's super easy to just recreate the same one, but for the coming month or for the current month. So I will just change the period, the batch name or journal name if needed. Then I can just change the period on this and the date. And at this point, I really don't want to have to type my period, my GL date on every single row. So what I do is I actually use one of our cool features, which is to default values. So row number 10 here, this darker gray row, is actually meant to default values. So anything I put on here will default on the blank rows below. So this is a great way to accelerate your data entry. And I can save this workbook, and a lot of things are defaulted here. So next time I want to use this template, I have data pre-defaulted. So that's about it. That's how you would basically create your data set. Then when the dataset is ready, you have two options. You can either validate the dataset only. So this won't process anything to Oracle. It will just validate within Excel. And in that case, I'm just going to highlight a few journals that I want to validate only and take a look if they are valid. So most WebADI templates do not offer this capability. You cannot do validation only. And this is super useful when you have thousands of rows on your data set. You might want to validate a small batch of your data set prior to do anything else. All right. So here I basically introduced a mistake, but that's okay because it will let me know that yeah, I've put a date for a source, so of course it didn't like it. And here, yeah, I had a typo. I can just double click and fix my mistake really. So there is nothing wrong you can do in here because it will basically perform Oracle validation. And if I have any mistake in my dataset, it will just catch it before uploading. So then I'm going to switch to validate and upload. This time I'm ready to upload, so I will do that and do upload all. And so when I choose this option, validate and upload, it also goes through MorphOrap's validation first. So it will look at your list of values, it will look at the format of dates, that it's the format expected, it will look if it's balanced. So we have the same validation that, yeah, what you've seen before with validate only. And then we will upload only valid records to the Oracle interface tables. So you get the feedback here, so you know that this one was rejected, it's out of balance, so we can just go to the dedicated section and make them equal, and then quickly reprocess this. So you see that, yeah, at any point it will catch any mistake, and you can easily reprocess any incorrect value on this. And unlike WebADI, which I've used a lot, those are user-friendly error messages. So we know that with WebADI, sometimes you get a technical code, you need to Google it because you have no idea what this means and you cannot fix your data set. In here, we basically translate when the error messages from Oracle are not really user-friendly. And then we highlight incorrect values in red, so you can easily spot any mistake in your data set. And then you see that those are pending because they are still in a staging area. So with MorphOraps, we always use Oracle technology to load your data. So it can be APIs or it can be standard Oracle interface. This is the case with the GL journals. This is the same technology as WebADI, actually. So we use the journal import, which is run automatically here because I've selected this option. So what I can do here is monitor my program from here. I'm talking too much, so it's already completed. So then you can just refresh the interface status to get the final feedback. And what's great also compared to WebADI is that it will ask you if you want to look at the batch and journal names created in Oracle. Because you know that Oracle will actually override those values here with the Oracle naming conventions. And then it will ask me if I want to load my attachments now that those journals have been created in Oracle. So that's easy to load journals. You see that, yeah, it's pretty similar to WebADI, but it's really WebADI on steroids because here you get basically a single interface, so you don't have multiple templates like WebADI. It's flexible. You can really tailor this workbook for your needs, and you don't need a technical assistant to do this. You can just do this on your own. Then it has advanced validation and clear error messaging, clear feedback. And finally, it's reliable. That's the main reason why people move away from WebADI, especially in this area, because most people would say, yeah, I don't need a replacement of WebADI for GL journals because there is WebADI, but many people move away from WebADI because it's actually broken for them and they cannot rely on it. So in a nutshell, that's our tool. And as I mentioned, this is the same look and feel for all our products, same functionalities. So yeah, now I will open the floor to questions.
Okay, great. Yeah, so now it's the Q&A portion. So we will do the Q&A probably for the next 10, 15 minutes, depending on how many questions we have. I already have a couple, so that's great. So if you initially ask a question and have any further clarifying questions, please just like raise your hand and then I can unmute you if you just, sometimes it's just easier to talk it. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can always just reply back in the chat or in the Q&A box, but not a big deal. Lily's a great expert to ask questions to, so please add them in there. But we have one here. Is it possible to upload journals to multiple operating units / ledgers in one go?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, it is possible. And I know that's one of the many limitations from WebADI, and you don't have this limitation in our tool. That being said, of course, it needs to be allowed by your responsibility. So when you connect to Oracle and to our product, you pick a responsibility. This responsibility has access to one or multiple ledgers. And this will be the same in the Morpher Apps template. So yes, if you have access to multiple ledgers with your responsibility, you will be able to upload across multiple operating units, multiple ledgers in Morpher Apps.
Okay, great. How does the installation work? Do you need to install Morpher apps on the end user's PC?
No, you don't. That's the great benefit of this. So on the end user's PC, there is nothing to install. They just need the workbook and yeah, they just need to populate the instance URL and they are good to go. Then on the Oracle side, there will be something to install. So on the database, you will have some package to install to make the connection between the workbook and Morpher apps and your Oracle instance. Sorry.
I don't know, you might have touched base on this a little bit. Do you provide the same segregation of duty as Oracle? If someone has access to a specific operating unit, it would be the same in your product. You might have touched base a little bit on that.
Right, yeah, that's pretty similar to the first question, but yeah, I'm happy to answer this and expand on this. So indeed, yes, we provide the same segregation of duty as Oracle. So if you connect in Morpher Apps with a user password, then you pick a responsibility. This gives you a specific data access. So same data access, you have access to specific operating units and specific function. So if you're not allowed to perform a specific task in Morpher Apps because you don't have a responsibility to do this, it will just let you know that you're not allowed to perform this task and log you out, basically.
Okay. And this is a good one for you because you talk to a lot of people every day. Any success stories about transitioning from WebADI to Morpher apps?
Yes, well, yeah, we've had, as I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, in the last 5 years, it's been crazy with like stories from people being stuck on WebADI. So they needed a quick resolution for their issues. The shipping company, it was from 2 years ago, they had 300 users stuck on an old version of Microsoft for like a few months before they found us. And yeah, for them, it was a great relief to be able to implement Morpher apps quickly. And in a week time, they tested the product. They saw that it was the same as WebADI, but with more functionalities. So they were super happy about this. And I can share some stories afterwards. I have some articles about this.
Can I limit who has access to certain columns? I have some users I don't want changing specific data.
Yeah, that's a great point. Indeed, in our tools, we offer a templating functionality. So using this, you can actually build a template and then you can restrict users to use only those templates that you built for them. So they won't be able to access any other column.
Okay, great. All right. Do you have any feedback about end users and their transition? About their transition, I think.
Do you mean how they transition from WebADI to more
Like
for
their
apps?
feedback on it. Like, was it easy, I guess? Difficult?
Well, yeah, it's the change is always difficult for some users. Well, I won't lie about this because being a consultant and yeah, you know that for some users it's hard to change, even if our solution almost look like WebADI. Some people would find the differences and they will struggle in the first hour. And that's why we offer testing sessions, and that's why we do a lot of hands-on with users so they can learn how to use this solution. And when they learn how to use this, then they typically prefer more for apps.
Okay, great. Okay, I got a couple more. Can more for apps templates be added to the workbooks we are already using, or does it have to be a separate file from the journal computations?
All right, so
Or
that
this is kind of, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Maybe that
And
completes.
then this is like like another part, like or related. Can we fill in the more for apps template with links / formulas to pull from other files, or must we paste as values?
Yeah, that's a great question. Indeed, you can copy paste data from any other source. Many people would do this. Actually, many people use our tool and get data from other sources. And yeah, you can do that. What you can do is actually tailor the Morpher Apps templates to align to your external source. So whether it's WebADI template, many people would basically align the Morpher Apps template to their former WebADI template. So it's not too confusing and you can just copy paste data between the two workbooks. So yeah, that's definitely a way to use our tool.
Okay, I hope that was able that was able to answer for you, Jonathan. If not, let me know, raise your hand. All good. I know you talked about training and everything, but is there any other ways that More for Apps supports users without like the extensive training? I think we might touch base a little bit on this later with like the community, but if you have any other use cases that you dealt with and resources and all that sort of stuff.
Right, so yeah, definitely we'll talk about the community. We have user guides that can help people. We have a support portal so you can get any help when you're stuck on a product. And yeah, obviously we offer training sessions, testing sessions when you have not purchased the product yet. So we are definitely here for you during the whole process.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have any other questions? Because I think that's all of it that I have for right now. All right. Well, if you have any other further questions, always feel free to email us. We'll answer it. We can take it offline, especially if it's more technical and a little bit more specific. We can always answer that for you. Before I hand it off to Gareth and Lily, I'll just reiterate that you should receive the recording by the end of the week. And just thank you for joining us and just keep an eye out for that. Gareth, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Stephanie. And thanks, Lily, for that session. Really enjoyed that and hope everybody found it informative. Look, yeah, as a next step, please do reach out to myself if you do have questions, as Stephanie mentioned, but also encourage you to go and visit the More for Apps community. On there, we've got a lot of resources. You get access to a ton of stuff. One of the exciting parts of that is the discussion forum. We've got customers and prospects going on there discussing More for Apps, discussing Oracle. It's starting to become a real asset to More for Apps and to the Oracle community with the discussions that are going on there. People are learning lots. So please feel free to go and sign up and join that. And of course, if you are a customer or become a customer, you also then get access to our support team 24 hours a day, pretty much 6 days a week as it's global via our community as well. So lots of resources on there, lots of exciting things on there. So please go and visit that when you get a chance. And I'll pass to Lily to say some final words.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time to sit with us today. I hope it was informative. And yeah, we're happy to walk you through our product in a demo, in a tailored demo if you need to. So yeah, reach out to us if needed. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and I hope to see you at another session coming up. All right. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Gareth.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you,
Bye for now.
Stephanie. Cheers. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.